done to create a good quality teaching context. But the argument here is it's the teachers themselves who could, compensate for a deficient language curriculum. So this is how, now we're going to see the teachers, what are their roles in terms of overall influencing the organizational structure, or how the teachers play their roles for providing effective quality teaching. We'll first discuss skills, and then we'll talk about, qualifications later on, right? Language teaching is seen recently as a specialized profession, which means that language teachers, ESL teachers, are seen to have acquired certain expertise and certain skills and qualifications. So they are generally seen as experts and having highly qualified, high skills as well. And, if the schools, for example, has an option between choosing from native or non-native teachers, they could decide, hiring native teachers of English, or they could decide about the non-native. So these are the decisions which are very much, rest with the institutes. But as we have already discussed, that recently now the field of English language teaching, conceptualizing, has started conceptualizing language teaching as a specialized field where the teachers are needed to have, a required knowledge base, and they need to have an entry level where, they should have acquired certain skills through their training or through their qualifications. For example, CELTA or Delta certificates, or some master's degrees, for example, MA TESOL, TESOL, or TEFL, right? So what I mean to say here is that language teaching is recently seen as a specialized area where teachers are seen to have, expertise in language teaching to employ approaches and methods, and doing some needs analysis and environment analysis for effective language teaching, right? In order to better understand the teacher's skills, we need to be aware of certain components. And these are the components which we're going to discuss now, and these mainly define their skills, and these mainly will help us know what we mean by skills here, right? Practical knowledge. The knowledge teachers have about teaching the content itself. The techniques and activities which they could use in the classroom, and the content knowledge, the understanding of the TESOL area or SLA area. Their awareness, or to what extent they know about SLA theories or issues taking place in grammar, phonology, or specialized terminology used for language teaching. Contextual knowledge, their knowledge about the teaching context, to what extent they are aware of the needs of their learners, right? And their pedagogical knowledge. This is important component which defines the skills of a teacher. Their practical knowledge about doing things in the classroom, about, performing in the classroom. And the personal knowledge, their personal beliefs, their personal motivation about language teaching. And lastly, we've got their reflective knowledge. To what extent they could reflect on their own teaching practices, Reflective knowledge is also important element to define skills. So in brief, teachers, they form an important group to create quality teaching context. And if we want to better understand the teachers, we need to be aware of their skills and their expertise, and to what extent teachers are treated professionally or not. So this is how the teachers, form an important part of organizational structure, and an effective, a good organizational structure can provide, effective and quality teaching for language curriculum design.